Text, accessibility services. Striving to remove barriers and provide equal opportunities. It makes a difference. A man reads a guide to furniture sizes. Another man scrolls through a slideshow on a computer. Text, Marsha Manfur, accessibility services.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability, which is a high number. That is 25% of the population. When it comes to community college, that number gets a little trickier to find just because of the stigma that students don't want to disclose that information. We find about 1 in 10 is what some of the studies are seeing. So that's 10% of our population has a disability. But because not everybody reports that, it's really important that everything becomes universally designed or accessible so that we can reach those students. We do want to make sure that those students do feel supported. A few years ago on Twitter, a hashtag was trending, why disabled students drop out. And that's alarming for people who work in a community college system because we want to make sure that those students feel supported and that they can succeed here at the school.
A Twitter thread.
So this is Accessibility Services. We help students with disabilities by providing accommodations, support, technology to make sure that they have the equal opportunity to succeed here at the college.
Those resources that are inaccessible can be videos that aren't properly captioned. They can be Word documents that don't meet accessibility standards. They can be PDFs that are scanned in, videos that are shared that don't have closed captions, PowerPoints and graphics that have insufficient color contrast.
There are ways for instructors with universal design for learning principles to create a more universal approach so that students who don't have the funds to be able to get diagnosed, who don't have the ability or don't feel comfortable registering with our office will still get what they need because the instructor has already added it to the course. And those things can include making sure the lecture notes are up online, making sure that captions are on all videos, those types of things.
To increase the accessibility and usability of your online course, try to ensure color contrast, so black on white like a Word document, white on black also works, or high color contrast for any resources that you use that are visual. Try to use only YouTube videos that have appropriate captions. I know when I pull up videos on Facebook or any other social media sites, I typically watch them on mute, and statistically many of our students may also do that. So if your video is posted in your online course, that's awesome. If it's not captioned, it may not be reaching your largest student audience. So it's good to listen to the audio, turn the captions on, and read them, make sure that they align. Try to ensure if you're scanning any PDFs that it's an actual accessible scan, not just an image. Otherwise, the text is not readable by some accessible technology. If you're using hyperlinks to anything, make sure it's a descriptive link, not just click here, which is pretty common. Click here is, I don't know where that's going, but if I say instructional technology homepage and I click on it, I know right where that's going to bring me.
All text. If you have images, even in D2L, Word documents, even in your emails to students, it's important to add that alternative text because it's a digital-based media and not everybody can see that. When we think of that, we tend to think of people who are blind or have low vision, but if someone has low bandwidth, like many of our students in the mountains, that alt text will show through. So it's also helping those students as well. So we want to make sure we're reaching the broadest audience possible, and by including accessible principles within your course or within your department, we can reach them. So if a student registers with our office and requests a sign language interpreter, Stacy Rowe, our interpreter coordinator, will work with the instructor, make sure that there are 2 interpreters in the class to either, if it's in person, they'll interpret the course for them. If it's remote, we could sync up an interpreter to also be included in the course.
Our web accessibility technologists, work study students, can caption your videos for you. They can also ensure your files, your Word documents, PDFs, etc. meets accessibility standards, and we can even post them in your D2L course for you.
Many documents have accessibility checkers built in. Microsoft has it in all their products, so Excel, Word, PowerPoint.
Hello, new student. Thank you for connecting with Accessibility Services.
Because we are remote, or you may not be seeing the student that you're emailing, you want to make sure that you send them something that's accessible. Outlook is a Microsoft product, so there are ways to make sure that it is accessible as we're emailing it. Instructional Technology offers trainings on universal design for learning and accessibility. There's a web accessibility training offered through Accessibility Services for staff as well to take so that they can make sure all their documents as they're emailing with students remotely or who may be far away, that all that's accessible for students as well.
Text, contact us today.